Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and today, May 13th, is the first day that you guys can go for the Season of the Splicer new armor exotics and the Legend Lost Sector that has them, which is a good thing it's Legend because I am not ready for 1340 Master yet. We're going to be in Scavengers Dens. We're actually down here in the EDZ right next to the Trostland. So let's talk about modifiers. We've got extra shields, match game, locked equipment. That stuff's on all of them. Fallen champions, you've got Barrier and you've got Overload. Barrier are going to be 2 servitors mixed throughout, and then Overload are going to be captains. Oh, fun. Fallen modifier is Scorched Earth. Destination modifier, you've got Arc, and knockback damage is increased, which is usually not too bad. There is a shield in there, and you can see that it is going to be Arc. There's only one Arc shielded enemy, but you have to have some way to take out an Arc shield outside of Xenophage or something. But you just need some way to take out an Arc shield. But majorly, the burn is going to be solar damage, so incoming and outgoing solar damage is going to be increased. Solar damage is going to hurt, but you can also pump out a lot of damage. So, a couple things you need to take care of. First, got to have your champions. So, currently I've got Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle and Overload Hand Cannon. Your alternative options are going to be Anti-Barrier Scout and Overload Submachine Gun. Now, the important piece I'm going to tell you is the energy slot needs to be Arc. Main reason is you want to free up your heavy slot to be solar because you can get a lot more damage out of solar here than you probably could here. Now, Ariana's Vow is kind of like a unique one that you could use for Barrier. It will not count for Overload, so don't think it's going to satisfy both of these requirements. It won't. Unfortunately, the exotics that have a type of champion, breaking thing to it, they are just that, and they can't double sack. So you could use Ariana's Vow, but then you're going to need some type of Arc probably down here unless you just want to depend on your subclass. What I'm trying to use is very recent weapons, so if you have been playing, no major exotics, nothing too crazy for you guys, not a, ridiculous loadout. Not even going to use, like, Hawkmoon up here, which I would probably do because I suck with 180s, and you guys will see that. But the number is an auto rifle that can drop this season, and it is one of the few Arc auto rifles, especially if you did not get a shadow price last season from the Nightfalls, like I did not. If you have a shadow price, that also works, but that's one of the 2 auto rifles. If you're going to go SMG, this one's just going to scream at you right here, the Ikelos SMG. That one's going to take care of your Overload, so then if you did Ikelos SMG here, you're going to need either auto rifle or scout rifle to manage your barrier. And again, definitely an option. I'm just doing something a little different because I want to try this thing out, and I do always enjoy the Amalon autos. So if I'm going up here, I've got the option of Overload, so I can either go with hand cannons, or I can go with an SMG. Now, if I throw an SMG up here, that actually probably wouldn't be a horrible idea, because this one's going to have some decent range to it. Hand cannon's also going to be pretty reliable for Overload, though, because it just takes like 3 shots, and then your next one is proc to hit it. SMG takes a bit more consistent fire, and the range on an Overload is a bit scary. So, believe me, if I could use something like Hawkmoon right here, I have it, but I'm not doing it for you guys, just to show you just a base loadout, no exotics. But if you have something like Hawkmoon, it's definitely a better hand cannon than what I'm showing you guys right here. Steady Hand, True Prophecy, basically any 120 hand cannon right here is going to be fantastic if you've got it. I'm trying to go with one that literally dropped this season to show you guys it's still doable. This is your big damage. Now, if you have Xenophage, just use it, please. It's amazing in these lost sectors. Pumps out a lot of damage. Make sure you have some like machine gun reserves on your here, and you're good to go. I'm going to use a rocket launcher because it is solar, and it's what I've at least got recently to use. I was messing around with the Swarm, but I also know not everybody has that. But solar in your heavy slot, if you've got Arc covered here, it's just going to be a lot more damage and knock out both the boss and then the champions much, much quicker. This is just a code Duello I've got. Decent roll loadout, so not too bad. And then subclass is really up to you. Now, if you just want to go crazy here, like take your solar hand cannon in here, hit things hard, have your range, then the only way you're going to be able to like break the shield on the boss is your abilities. Now, if you're okay with that, that's totally fine. It is a captain. He does warp around a little bit, and if you use like your grenade and maybe your super, then you could be SOL for a little while if you don't kill him with those 2. Theoretically, if you went Striker and you use Curious of the Falling Star, you could probably one-bang him. But on the other side, at least have your Striker as a backup. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, if you do get this far into the artifact, you're going to have an option to have Overload champions go down by grenades, and they would be Arc grenades, so again, another reason to use Arc. But then if you're good with Arc grenades, it's nice to have a backup still of whichever weapon you're going to use. But yeah, you can also use arc grenades for that as well. So there's a lot of options for this one. So I'm giving you guys basically a very early season. I just have 2 weapons that satisfy the requirements. Jump into the Lost Sector and go. As solar burn is going to be coming in, if you do have a solar energy armor, try and throw solar resistance on there and then whatever reserves you have for heavy. For your gauntlets, of course, you'll be taking care of your champions. Head, ammo finders are always going to be beneficial. Leg, Scavenger is always going to be helpful. Try and get all that heavy ammo you can, especially if this thing's pumping out a lot of damage. Take advantage of it. But if you had Xenophage, I would be using it instead, but I'm not for you guys, so here we go. Let's jump in and see if we can knock this out. All right, so when you guys jump in, first thing you're going to do is have this little section right here of some dregs. Couple right here pretty close. This thing, good old Amalon autos, they still feel good. This thing's not quite Uriel's gift, but it may as well be. Doesn't quite have the range of Uriel's, but it's still pretty solid. You're going to theoretically have this guy up here for a Marauder, so be careful. His solar damage will hurt. Still going to have this guy up here, and that's your main first 4. Across the way, you will have a Vandal sitting over there. I'm just going to kind of unload all my ammo. The more guys you can kill early on, which you not... Oh my god, he just ran all the way across the damn map. Well, down below, you're going to have some ads, so you can work on whittling these guys down. There's also a barrier servitor down there, too. So depending on where the barrier servitor's at, that one always gets to be a bit spicy. So if that guy gets shielded, be careful. You're basically going to have to pull him over here away from the shield. And take him out however you have to. But as I said, down below, the barrier servitor is literally like below this lip. So if you can take out some ads from far away, do that so you don't have a bunch of guys shooting at you. I'm just going to kind of hang back here, pluck away at these guys. Pretty easy and straightforward. Your servitor is literally below the ledge here. You can see him actually getting some of these guys shielded, some not. So again, if you can get some of them to back off and shoot you, the barrier's not going to get aggressive. He's just going to hang under the lip trying to get close and friendly with you. And the rest of the guys, if they move around and play nice, it's actually not so bad. So, those are options for now. Barriers are first one we got to deal with down below, but I'm also going to check up here to make sure we've got no more ads because you usually have a couple stragglers. As you guys can see, it's not my first rodeo. I'm still terrible with 180s, but what can you do? Alright. So, champion has appeared, so the overload is going to be across the way. So if I left those guys up, theoretically I wouldn't have to deal with the overload. Because he's got some range on him. It's the only problem with that guy. Now, he's fairly easy to dodge, but he is a bit annoying from this range because his arc shots definitely can hurt. That's why the solar resistance is important. Don't forget about the exploding barrel over there. Can be beneficial. I actually got some ether. Look at that. So if you guys are wondering how much ether you get every so often, you will sometimes get ether. Now, barrier guy down below, you got a couple ways to do this. You can either go straight after the overload guy and leave the barrier guy down below. It's going to be an option. And then just kind of deal with any other ads that are up there. Or you can work on the barrier from some type of high ground. But you just have to make sure you've got cover from big guy up top. He's going to hurt a lot more than the servitor, so if you can get him kind of stuck in the corner, get the barrier to get to where you can see it. But yeah, it's going to get fun for a minute. But really what I would probably do is tell you guys, if you can get the servitor to actually stand still for a minute, maybe fire at you. Make sure your barrier weapon is reloaded and smash it with a rocket. And you'll notice how much damage I do. Wait for it to proc its shield. Go ahead and break it, and then just unload whatever you've got. That is why you want a solar heavy. That's the main reason why you want a solar heavy. Is right there. Now, if it teleports, be ready for the shield break. Teleports again, it's going to pop its whole shield. Take a second, and I'm just playing ultra cautious because I don't want to get down there and finish it with the champion across the way. All right, so it's down. Same thing's going to apply across the way. TWAB did just drop, but it sounds like it's short, so I might just tack whatever happened in there at the end of this video. So we will see. But you want to find some way to stagger him so you can get over there on his level. Now, if you have a super, you could probably nuke him. But if you want to play a little more on the cautious side, like some of you I know enjoy doing, hence why you follow some of my guides, you might not want to go get quite as aggressive. It's going to take about 3 hand cannon shots, and then you can stagger him. If you do stagger him, I can get some damage into him, but then just be ready. And keep firing with your overload weapon to keep the damage down. And then you should be able to keep peppering him down. He's very low, so I want to keep the damage on him. Keep him staggered. theoretically you can kill him that way. I wouldn't really recommend a hand cannon from that range to do it, but it worked. Got some ammo, and let's move on. So around the corner, we are going to be dealing with our first little kind of confined room. You're going to have a few ads around the corner, and then there's going to be an overload champion kind of sitting up there at the top. No, I actually think I miscounted my champions. There's one extra. So you're going to have these ads here. You're going to have a marauder that will occasionally charge up on you. Hey, more ether. Woohoo! Party. But you will have some ads up there. You can see the Vandal hiding. Some grenade throwing wonderful guys. Champions way up top around the corner. If you can kill the Vandal early, that's a nice one to drop because the snipers are just frustrating. There are a couple guys down here, so if you're ready, you can just jump down here, back up to some cover. You can even come back into this room and enter this room down here. Hi! I'm not ready to be friends yet. Back off, buddy. So work these guys from down here. You won't have to deal with the champion up top. Most of the guys will be visible from down here. And more ether. Beautiful. There he is. There's the marauder. Melees are still going to hurt a little bit just due to the mods that are on here. Alright, so I don't know why I'm awful with 120s, but I just am, or 180s, but I just am. Apparently I staggered the champion too. Not even sure how. Yeah, this champion's really not too bad. This would be a great one for like arc grenades, because all you'd have to do is literally chunk one up there and you'd be good to go. But I want to stagger him first. Switch it over to my rocket launcher. And then switch back to my hand cannon to keep it going. Every so often, pepper him with a shot. Wait till his... And the nice thing about this is the fact that his shots are somewhat angled down. So if I'm below a level, I'm kind of like head glitching him, basically. And I can just sit here and pepper him with hand cannon bullets, and he can't do a damn thing about it. So it's kind of fun. Because, yeah, his shots have to arc, so they have to travel at a downward angle. And he's either going to go over my head or shoot right in front of me. So take advantage of that. Now, I've fully died by these. If you do, I've been very far back, and for some reason, they still explode, so be careful. Shoot these things from very far away. Like, see how that, like, blast radius here got me? Weird stuff. So, just be careful with those. If you die, you should still have enough res. Not a big deal. Okay, this is the fun part of the room. You are going to have a barrier and an overload champion in the same area. If the barrier servitor gets to shielding the overload captain, it gets really spicy. This is where a super is a really good thing. What, like a Nova Bomb, a Golden Gun, Curious of the Fallen Star, Thunder Crash, that type of thing to take out one of the two of those, it's worth it. And you could even die and still be okay with it. But we're going to see if we can do this in somewhat of a normal fashion without the super and see what shows up. So barrier guy's already close. So if he gets close enough to be able to actually tag... Now, this is why... And there's the shield. That's the one I'm talking about. That's absolutely brutal. Now, I can't do anything about him getting his health back. Doesn't matter how many times I hit him, I'm basically screwed. So, if he gets to where he can shield him, then you got to work on the barrier guy. Sometimes he'll back up, too. So, it's playing this wonderful game between these two. Either trying to make sure you can kill him, and then if he creeps up and shields him, you just got to go after the barrier servitor at some point. So, my advice is if you do enough damage to actually... whittle him down. Be ready. See if you can get him to stand still for half a second. Oh, he just barely juked my rocket, you little jerk. So I'm going to try and go for the barrier if he will stand still and stop drifting back and forth. And I'm just wasting my rockets over here. He's just playing a really mean game. Okay, sometimes you're just going to die. So that's why this is the suckiest part of this whole thing. Everything else is relatively okay. This part kind of sucks. Ammo drops. That's why you have ammo finder and scavenger and everything else on, because I got like 3 or 4 rockets from that. So if you can catch him early, try and rocket the servitor if you can find him, or rocket the captain and stagger him. Hard to do both sometimes, but you might get a shot right there. Now this would be a good time, like with this, just to try and finish him up. Now I actually have auto-loading holster on, so I could actually go for a kill, and it's worth killing yourself just to kill one of those two, so it's not as awful. So again, do what you can to kill that guy. It's kind of always a weird setup. I end up using popping a super, waiting around for a little while. I've still got 6 minutes before my reses go away. It's just that combo gets to be really frustrating. So just be ready for him to pop his shield. And you've also got the boss as an overload captain as well, so he's going to hurt too. See him up there? That's why I'm also dying, is that overload captain, or apparently the wire rifle, so... That may be why you might want to bring a scout in here for a barrier weapon instead of an auto rifle, and then your SMG might be an okay thing. But you're going to need something with a little bit of range to work this. Now, theoretically, with a rocket launcher, I can nearly kill him. Now, he's going to pop his shield, and I'm ready for it, and he should die. Now, the thing to know about champions is if you do damage to them, and they don't pop their shield while you can see them in the death screen, and you get back over there and they have their health up, they won't actually pop their shield or activate their ability. Typically, barriers is the one that'll do this, until you actually see them. But I'm going to shoot him and stagger his butt, so he will back off for a minute. If you shoot him, he will typically back off a little bit. Again, snipers are a bit of a pain, so having something with range is good. He's the only shielded enemy, though, so however you take care of Ark is up to you. And you've really only got to shoot him about one time to get him off your back. He'll come back occasionally, but he's not that aggressive. Captains are big weenies, actually. I know we're learning about more Fallens, but captains by, like, movement, they're big weenies, so. Alright. Flanker on the outside to the left. You're going to have some ads across the middle. You're going to have some that jump down. That's going to happen. Might make sure you got a grenade ready for some of the stuff that's coming for you. Some will try and flank you as well, so be careful. I feel like I was Aladdin in Robin Williams in Aladdin. Be yourself. Again, Marauders, being as their solar, they still sting if they get close. Few drags, and then basically just kill everything you can before you go take out the boss. What's up, Ares? How you doing? Live recording a video and still got to shout out Ares, the man for the community right there. So I'm gonna push up, get a little aggressive. Probably have like 1 or 2 guys left. Try and find the Vandal on the upper deck, take him out. Last thing is, you need Ark to be able to break the boss, and then make sure I got my rocket ready to smash him in the face. Ready? So see if I can stagger the shield. If I can find him. What are you doing, dude? Oh, geez, he's going to warp around, be a little crazy about it. But again, their shots will arc down, so depending on where you're hitting him from. But this is also why, as he teleports around like crazy, depending on like one grenade to break his shield is not the best, really, because it's just going to get somewhat unreliable to do that. As you can see, I can't even get an aim on him because he's such a big weenie. I have auto-loading holster, so I can hit him here. Or suck completely. There's a grenade putting in some work. And if you can get to where you can finish him, just go ahead and do that. I can't do that yet. I'm going to die. I was trying to actually get my melee slam up in the air, but nope. See, dying in a Legend of the Lost Sector, not a big deal. I was trying to slam him to break the shield again. Did not work. But as you guys can see, this one is really not that bad. Now I could go finish him. But I just want to shoot him with bullets because he's been pissing me off. I can see his, like, elbow. Come on. Hello. There we go. Alright, so once you've killed all of them, you are good to go. So jump on down here. Platinum rewards, so you guys can see that will qualify. Did not get an exotic this time. I was actually lucky on my first run to get my new Titan exotic, but I'm 0 for 2 after that. So let's jump back to the surface, and we'll finish this thing up. All right, so that pretty much does wrap it up, guys. You've got a lot of loadout options on this one, so take your pick. If you've got something like Xenophage and you want to use that, smash away because it's going to hit hard. If you've got a hand cannon like Hawkmoon you want to use instead, or any other 120, probably a reasonable idea. If you want to go submachine gun for your overload, then you're going to need something up here like a scout rifle or an auto rifle in your kinetics. So just make sure you mix and match. Give yourself some solar protection if you've got it. Those captains do sting quite a bit. And then reserves, ammo finder, and scavengers are always going to help you get more heavy ammo. Other than that, subclass is really up to you for what you're comfortable with, and good luck getting your new seasonal exotics. I know somebody in my chat right now, literally as I'm recording this, is on 15-0 for getting an exotic for his Titan, and I literally got it on my first one. So it is complete RNG. Some people will blame streamer luck, but, you know, what are you going to do? So thank you guys very much. If you did enjoy this video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you've got any other builds that you guys like for this one. Again, mine was not the most efficient. Mine is trying to be a little more reasonable loadout. If you got exotics, use them, have fun with those. That's the whole point. But if you did enjoy this one also and want to see other stuff from me, nice way to support the channel is to hit that subscribe button. If you want to see future videos make it into your YouTube feed, hit that alert bell and select all videos. That's going to at least have a chance for me to make it to you. Other than that, you guys can find me over on Twitter, doing who knows what, news, tweets, ridiculousness. And then over on Twitch, of course, probably streaming Destiny, but also a variety of other things over there as well. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you in the next one, and good luck getting your new exotics.